Hey everybody, JC here from Toy News International. And I just wanted to throw together a video highlighting one of the top reveals, in my opinion, from the New York Comic Convention that took place this past week. And that's from a company called Mezco, which I'm sure most of you have heard of. And actually two reveals that they made at the comic convention, which I thought were worth touching upon with this video. And that's their new Judge Dredd figure and their Mortal Kombat figures. Both of which I thought were really impressive looking and have real potential to be great new figure lines. Now, Mezco typically is not known for articulation, so I've had some and even still a little bit of reservation about how much articulation these figures will have, especially with the Mortal Kombat, but definitely was impressed by what I saw at New York Comic Con this week with what they had on hand. So first I want to talk about the Judge Dredd figures, which is a collaboration Mezco has been doing with a company called 112 Collective. They previously debuted figures in this style for Batman, which we saw at San Diego Comic Con. The figures stand roughly about 6.75 inches tall, so they're a little bit taller than a normal 6-inch figure, but they're definitely in that 1/12 scale range. The Batman figures, which you may have seen already, are definitely kind of done in that Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns style. And the figures, they tend to seem to incorporate some like soft goods for their costumes, have a lot of accessories. The figures are said to have around 30 points of articulation, so definitely they seem to have good articulation. Now obviously I haven't handled any of these figures in hand, so I can't say for sure, but based on what we're told, it looks like the figures will have good articulation. So anyway, they debuted the next figure or figures in this this 1/12 scale line of detailed highly accessorized figures, and it's Judge Dredd. And though I'm not a huge Judge Dredd fan per se, I enjoy the movies, even the Sylvester Stallone movie, which I know I'm in the minority on that. But in the comics, I read from time to time. But I can't say I'm a diehard Judge Dredd fan. But definitely was impressed by what I saw with these figures and the detail. I really like the face sculpt, how you can almost see like the the rough skin and the little like scar marks above his lips and everything. I think just look amazing. Now I'm not 100% sure if the helmet is removable on these figures. I think they probably will be, but I'm not 100% sure of that. But then he's got like, just like with the Batman figure, he's kind of got that soft goods, real cloth or type material. His is like leather, looks like, but he's got like the working zipper on the front with the little chain that attaches to the badge. You can see the figure they had on display came with a number of accessories and interchangeable hands. He's got his gun, his nightstick, so just lots of accessories and attention to detail. He's got like the knife sheath and a removable knife on his one ankle, and then looks like a gun belt on his other, or a gun holster on the other. He's got handcuffs. The gun even looks like comes with a spare magazine. He's got the nightstick. So just a lot of detail on this figure. And so if you are a Judge Dredd fan, I think this is definitely a line that you're going to want to check out. Now I'm not 100% sure of what the price is going to be on the Dredd figure. The Batman figures seem to be going for about around $65. So that's probably what we'll be looking at with the Judge Dredd as well. Now one thing I do hope is this figure looks like would be a perfect fit for a motorcycle, so I hope I haven't heard anything about any kind of vehicles for this line, but definitely a motorcycle for Dredd to ride I think is in need for these figures. That's really the only thing that I could see is missing. Oh, and it also looks like it's going to come with a figure stand as well. Okay, so the second line that Mezco debuted this week at New York Comic Con was their new line of 6-inch Mortal Kombat figures. Now this was announced, these figures were announced as coming from Mezco back at San Diego Comic Con, but this is the first time we're actually seeing any of the figures from the line. The figures are based on the Mortal Kombat X video game, which I've actually never played, so I'm not that familiar with this particular incarnation of the video game. I'm more of an original Mortal Kombat guy, but definitely was impressed by the looks of these figures, especially with the face sculpts on these. I think they look totally amazing. And the three figures that they debuted were Sub-Zero, Scorpion, and Raiden. Now, I don't know, I'm going to assume that these figures are going to come with a number of accessories. We definitely see it looks like, you know, Scorpion's got an ice sword and dagger. Scorpion's got a skull and his chain with the spike on it. Also looks like, you know, Sub-Zero might have some daggers on his chest that might be removable. Raiden's got the electricity effect coming out of his fingers. I'm going to guess that he might be coming with multiple pairs of hands. Again, I don't know that for sure, but definitely looks like that's a good possibility. And so the sculpting on these just looks amazing to me. Now, the figures I was told at San Diego are going to have around 17 to 20 points of articulation. And that seems like a decent amount. However, one thing I was noticing on these sculpts is it doesn't look like any of them have any kind of midsection articulation. Now, it's possible these are just early prototypes and that more articulation could be added on the final version, which I hope so, because, you know, it's not that you always need, you know, 30, 40 points of articulation on a figure, or even, you know, necessarily, you know, an ab crunch. But I do think with a line like Mortal Kombat, where you're going to be wanting to get these guys in some really cool fighting poses, that you do want to have some of that basic, like a midsection joint of some type. Now, granted, you know, it looks like it might be a little bit of a challenge with some of these to give them a midsection joint without ruining the overall look of the figure. So I don't know if they're going to add it, but I definitely hope they find a way to get some something like that midsection joint, you know, added to these. And if they do, I think they'll definitely have a virtually perfect you know, line of Mortal Kombat figures. Definitely far superior than anything we've seen in the 6-inch scale to date for Mortal Kombat. So I hope you enjoy the look at these figures, and we'll keep you updated as more information comes about. I don't have release dates. I asked and they basically said 2015, but they didn't have specific release dates on these, so I don't know when exactly these are going to be released, or even what the you know, I don't know if these three figures are going to be all that's included in the first wave, or if they've got more. So definitely have more details that should be coming soon on this line. Also, don't know what the price range is going to be on these. You know, if the Judge Dredd figures are costing around $60–65, I definitely could see these running, you know, $30–40 possibly. But again, I don't know what the price is going to be on these. But like I said, definitely am very impressed with what I've seen so far with these. I do hope that we see maybe a little more articulation added to them, but definitely a step in the right direction. So that's it. Please be sure to stop by Toy News International, TNI.com, or ToyNewsEye.com, and check out our full range of New York Comic Con coverage if you haven't already. And let us know what you think about these. Are you excited about Mezco's Mortal Kombat and Judge Dredd figures? What would you like to see? Which characters? You know, please leave a comment and let us know. Feedback's always good. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I'll check you later.